Lecturer of Human Anatomy Department in Faculty of Medicine and Health Science, University Putra, Malaysia. And I hope to all of the audiences to turn on your camera because our event will be start after this.
Aku nggak dengar suara kalian. Assalamualaikum.
Waalaikumsalam, Prof.
Sudah mulai ya? MC-nya aku nggak dengar.
Oke, bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
Waalaikumsalam warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
Waalaikumsalam warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
The Honorable Professor Dr. Yuyun Yueniwati Prabowati Wajib MKes, Aspirant Consultant, as the Dean of Faculty of Medicine and Health Science, UIN Malang. The Honorable Professor Dr. Apoteker Roihatul Mutiah, SF MKes, as the first Deputy Dean of Faculty of Medicine and Health Science, UIN Malang. The Honorable Mr. Ahmad Nasiuddin MA, as the second Deputy Dean of Faculty of Medicine and Health Science, UIN Malang. The Honorable Dr. Alfi Miliana M. Biomed, as the third Deputy Dean of Faculty of Medicine and Health Science, UIN Malang. The Honorable all of the teacher staffs of Faculty of Medicine and Health Science, UIN Malang, and the beloved all of the students of Faculty of Medicine and Health Science, and also from other faculty of UIN Malang. Good morning, everyone. I am Hasna Fatina Bila from Medical Education Study Program, class of 2019. It's a precious chance for me to be your master of ceremony on this very special occasion, opening lecture of 2022-2023 academic year. I would like to say welcome to Professor Datin Dr. Sharida Fakurazi, Lecturer of Human Anatomy Department in Faculty of Medicine and Health Science, University Putra, Malaysia, as our keynote speaker today. And also, I would like to say welcome to all of the audiences. I hope everyone is in good health conditions and always be in the grace of Allah. Amin. First of all, let's say thanks to Allah who has given us guidance, happiness, health, and mercy, so we can attend and participate in this special event without any obstacles. Praise and salutation upon our Prophet Muhammad Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam, who had brought us to the path of light from the darkness in this life. Okay, in this special morning, we have several agenda as follows. First, opening. Second, singing the Indonesian national anthem and the hymn of FKIK UIN Malang. Third, opening speech. Fourth, doa. 5, introduction profile of keynote speaker. And then the main agenda, opening lecture for new students with the topic, adaptation to the 4.0 industrial revolution. What should students prepare? And then the 7th is discussion, and the last is closing. Well, let's begin this event by reciting Basmalah. Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. We are moving on to the next agenda. It is singing the Indonesian national anthem and the hymn of FKIK UIN Malang. Okay, we are moving on to the next agenda. It is opening speech. The speech will be delivered by Professor Dr. Yuniwati Prabowati Wajib, MKes, Esperat Konsultan, as the Dean of Faculty of Medicine and Health Science, UIN Malang. For Professor Yuyun, time is yours.
Thank you, Hasna, as Master of Ceremony. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Good morning, everyone. Good morning, Professor Sharida, the honorable speaker today. I would like to appreciate my gratitude to Professor Sharida that will become our keynote speaker today. My Prof. Sharida is my best friend, and insyaAllah in the early November, Professor Sharida will come to our faculty. The Honorable, all the Vice Dean, all the lecturer, and all the students who virtually present. As a Dean of the Faculty of Medicine and Health Sciences, State Islamic University Maulana Malik Ibrahim Malang, I would like to welcome you all. This is an opening lecture. The opening lecture is a regular program in our faculty, and we today the topic I think is very important, not only for all the students, but also for all the lecturer and who virtually present here. My topic is about how we can adaptation to industrial revolution 4.0 after pandemic situation. Okay. I would like to say thanks to all the committee and also all the lecturer and student, and especially for Professor Sharida for her time and also her knowledge, and I hope all the participants will increase the knowledge and skill and after the opening lecture. Okay, and with Bismillahirrahmanirrahim, I officially open the opening lecture today. Wassalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. I will back the microphone to the Master of Ceremony.
Waalaikumsalam warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Thank you very much to Professor Yuyun for the speech. Okay, the next agenda is doa that will be delivered by Ustadz Amiruddin LC. For Ustadz Amiruddin, time is yours.
Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi taala wabarakatuh. Bisa kedengaran suara?
Waalaikumsalam.
Suara saya jelas kedengaran?
Terdengar, Ustaz.
Ya, terdengar, Ustaz.
Iya. Kok kecil dari suara saya? Sebentar. Ya Allah.
Insya Allah terdengar jelas, Ustaz.
Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Ila hadratin Nabi Muhammadin al-Mustafa salawatullah wa salamuhu alaihi wa ala alihi wa sahbihi ajma'in. Syai'un lahumul Fatihah. A'udzu billahi minasyaitonir rajim. Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Alhamdulillahi rabbil alamin. Arrahmanir rahim. Maliki yaumiddin. Iyyaka na'budu wa iyyaka nasta'in. Ihdinas siratal mustaqim. Siratal ladzina an'amta 'alaihim ghairil maghdubi 'alaihim waladdallin. Amin. Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Alhamdulillahi rabbil arsyil azim. Wassalatu wassalamu ala asyrafil anbiya'i wal mursalin. salatan wa salaman daimaini mutalazimaini ila yaumiddin. Ya Rabbana lakal hamdu kama yanbaghi li jalali wajhikal karim wa azimi sultanika. Allahumma la nuhsi thana'an 'alaika kama atita 'ala nafsika. Ini ya Allah, namamu yang maha suci, yang maha tinggi. Ighfir lana dhunubana wa liwalidina. Kedua orang tua kami ya Allah ampunkan ya Allah. Guru-guru kami ya Allah ampunkan. Guru-guru dari guru-guru kami ya Allah, yang telah menyampaikan, yang telah mengingatkan, telah membawa kami kepada Islam, kepada iman, dan orang-orang yang telah berjasa, baik di antara mereka yang sudah meninggal maupun yang masih hidup. Ighfir lana dzunubana jami'an, al-ahya'i minhum wal amwat. Ya Rabb, di perkuliahan perdana Engkau pertemukan kami. Dalam acara perkuliahan awal ini kami tengadahkan tangan kami. Kami susun jemari kami berharap Engkau terima pendekatan kami ya Allah. Engkau terima takarub kami. Engkau jaga keikhlasan, istiqomah dan kesungguhan kami. Di awal perkuliahan kami yang hadir ini, di awal perkuliahan kami yang hadir di sini memohon kepadamu. Ya Allah, kami betul-betul berserah diri ya Allah. Engkaulah yang akan memberi kami kesehatan. Engkau yang akan memberi, anugerahkan kepada kami waktu, kesempatan, dan semangat. Ya Rabb, demi hamba-Mu yang maha berhikmah, Ibn Athaillah Sakandari memberi nasihat kepada kami, man asyraqat bidayatuhu asyraqat nihayatuhu. Barang siapa yang di awal-awal pagi urusannya mendekatkan diri kepada Allah Subhanahu wa taala, maka akan Allah dekatkan dia di akhir urusannya dengan pintu-pintu kesuksesan. Ya Allah, bimbinglah kami dalam proses kuliah ke depan. Kuatkanlah hati kami tetap bertahan. Sabar menghadapi sebarang hal untuk mencapai capaian pembelajaran yang telah Engkau gariskan kepada Engkau yang maha sophisticated. Kedatangan Profesor Datin, Sharida, Fakurazi, berilah nilai plus buat kami, nilai yang banyak, tambahan nilai ibadah kami dalam menjayakan dunia medis Islam di kampus Islam Ulul Albab UIN Maulana Malik Ibrahim ini. Juga menguatkan hubungan kami dengan rumpun kami dengan Universitas Putra Malaysia. Ya Rabbana atina fid dunya hasanah wa fil akhirati hasanah wa qina adzabannar. Tuntunlah hamba yang jemarinya sedang tengah menengadah ini, mengharapkan keharibaanmu dalam proses ini, dalam mencapai kejayaan, kesuksesan dunia dan akhirat. Rabbana atina fid dunya hasanah wa fil akhirati hasanah wa qina adzabannar wa qina adzabil mahsyar. La haula wala quwwata illa billahil aliyyil azim. Allahumma rzuqna ziyarata Masjidil Haram wa Masjidin Nabi wa Masjidil Aqsa. La haula wala quwwata illa billahil aliyyil azim. A'izzallahumma al-Islam wal muslimin. Allahumma ansurul Islam wal muslimin fi masyarikil ardi wa magharibiha.
PSF.
ربنا اغفر وارحم وأنت خير الراحمين.
SSF.
سبحان ربك رب العزة عما يصفون وسلام على المرسلين والحمد لله رب العالمين. الفاتحة. Terima kasih. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
Waalaikumsalam warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Amin amin ya rabbal alamin. Thank you Ustadz Amiruddin. May Allah always bless us. Amin. Okay, the next agenda is reading the introduction profile of keynote speaker and also the main agenda of this event, which is opening lecture that will be delivered by Professor Datin Dr. Sharida Fakurazi and will be moderated by Dr. Lailia Nurrahma M. Biomed. For Professor Sharida and Dr. Lailia, time is yours.
Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Okay, thank you for the MC for allowing me to quote our honorable speaker, Prof. Sharida. Prof. Sharida, let me introduce myself. I am Lailia Nurrahma. You can call me Lia. I'm from Microbiology Department. And this is my first time dealing with you, Prof. Previously, I had only heard about you from our colleague in Medical Faculty of Brawijaya, and I am very grateful to be a moderator for your inaugural lecture from Prof. Sharida. Assalamualaikum, Prof. Assalam.
Waalaikumsalam warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
Alhamdulillah. How are you, Prof?
Alhamdulillah, I'm good. I'm good. I was sick last week, and some of my voice is not heard clearly. I hope you can hear my voice clearly because I'm still coughing actually.
Oh, okay. Actually, I am also a little bit cold, Prof.
Okay.
Okay, Prof. Sharida will deliver an inaugural lecture for our new student, with the topic Adaptation to Revolution Industry 4.0, what should student prepare? Before that, I will present it. I will read Prof. Sharida profile, okay, brief profile. Prof. Sharida, Prof. Dr. Sharida Fakurazi, Professor, Department of Human Anatomy, Faculty of Medicine and Health Science, University Putra, Malaysia. Prof. Sharida take her PhD in Imperial College of Science, Technology of Medicine, South Kensington, London, and get her Bachelor of Science Honors Pharmacology, University of Dundee, Scotlandia, and get and the Maktab Rendah Sains Mara, Kulim Kedah. Okay. Areas of interest is drugs discovery and pharmacology, ergogenic substance, hepatoprotective study, toxicology, drug delivery system and cancer, wound healing in diabetic murine model. Okay, and now Prof. Sharida is the head of Department Jabatan Anatomi Manusia or Pharmacology, and visiting professor in Fakultas Kedokteran Gigi Universitas Brawijaya Malang, visiting professor from Technology College of Land Science and Technology, Huangzhou Agricultural University, Hongshan, Wuhan, China. I think it's enough. Okay, Prof.
Yes.
Okay, you will you will give a lecture for 1 hour and 15 minutes, and then it will followed by a question session for 5 minutes. Question will be asked via chat, and we will choose 3 questions that will be answered by Prof. Sharida immediately. Well, Prof, the time is now 9:30. We invite you to present your lecture. Okay, the time is your, Prof.
Thank you so much, Dr. Lailia.
Lia, you can call me Lia. It's my nickname.
Dr. Lia, for your kind introduction. And Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh to everyone in this session. I can see there is about 328 participants during this session. And before I begin, I would like to say thank you to the MC as well, the beautiful Miss Hasna Fatin, Nabila, and I would like to say thank you, and I would like to convey my sincere thank you and appreciation to the higher management of University Islam Negeri Maulana Malik Ibrahim Malang, and especially to Professor Dr. Yuyun, my friend, the Dean of the Fakultas Kedoktoran dan Ilmu Kesihatan Universiti Islam Negeri Malang, for this kind invitation. Professor Dr. Royhatul Mutiah, Dr. Alvi, and Mr. Nashichuddin. Yeah, I'm very sorry for if I mentioned it wrongly, and to Dr. Alif as well for communicating with me, and we are able to do this today. And before I begin, I would like to congratulate to the new students of this is the new student session, right?
Yes, right, Prof.
So I would like to say congratulations to the new students, Putra, Putri, Siswa dan Siswi, Fakultas Kedoktoran dan Ilmu Kesihatan Malang, for being able to secure a place in this beautiful university in Malang. So I guess, and I think you are the cream of the country who has been able to secure a place to do medicine, to do pharmacy in this beautiful university. Okay, so what do you think about yourself being able to have this place in the university to do the course that you like? May I see some participants who like to say something about how do they feel in this situation that you are able to secure a place in the university, especially after the 2 years of MCO. We have been staying at home. We need to quarantine ourselves, not being able to go out from the house. So what do you think? How do you feel? What are your feelings about this? Can someone tell me?
May I answer it?
Yes, please. May I know who that is? I couldn't see. I am trying to see who is.
Okay.
Okay.
I am Nujumil A'la.
Yeah, I can see you now.
All right. So it's about my feeling. For me, honestly, it was so great because it will be the first time for us to have the offline class, and it is also excited for us because we can learn medical science, which is also Islamic as well. I think that's all for me. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you. That is very good. That is a very good response from you. So congratulations again. So can I hear someone else give their opinion about how they feel about this? Okay, I guess everybody is so happy that you are able to actually come back to the university and socialize. Okay, and then I am also happy to be able to actually go out and talk to the students, meeting old friends, and then meet new people. And then I can feel that this is something that we have to be looking forward to. Okay, and then when I was being contacted by Professor Yuyun and given the title Adaptation to Industrial Revolution 4.0, that title is like something that is not, I haven't been given the chance to talk about, because that is not my cup of tea, it's not my specialty. But when looking at the title, I need to actually think about what are the things to actually talk to you about. Okay, so I guess most of the students here, all of you, you are about the age of 20, am I correct? Are you all?
I am 18.
20 years old?
18.
18. 19.
18.
18.
The elders, the usia yang paling akhir mungkin 20, tapi the younger you are 18 to 19. You may not been able to see the difference in the scenario of the environment that we are going to talk about today. Okay.
Prof. Sharida, you can use bahasa or English is okay. You can use bahasa. I think you are friendly in bahasa if you want to use bahasa, Prof.
Thank you. Okay, so I will have this session in two languages, English as well as bahasa Melayu or bahasa Indonesia. Okay, but probably not 100% bahasa Indonesia because I'm not well versed with bahasa Indonesia.
Okay, bahasa Melayu. Okay.
Yeah, bahasa Melayu. Okay, so now I think with the scenario of the environment of the life that we are going through, whoever is in my age, they are able to see the difference in education in the life that we are going through today. Okay, but for you, the young generation, you may not be able to see the difference. Okay, so when I am given this title, Adaptation to Industrial Revolution 4.0, what should the students do? Then I start by thinking of how was my life during student time. Okay, so can we go to the next slide? Okay, so when you are looking at the title Industrial Revolution 4.0, all of us might be thinking, so what happened to 1.0, what happened to 2.0, 3.0, and then we are now in 4.0. And we start that by thinking, what is a revolution? Okay, so next slide, please. So revolution is actually a changing in the situation. So you can think of by imagining one revolution a second. So the changing in a political scenario, the changing in a government, the changing in a social order, or the changing in a system. So that is what we are going to focus about. Next slide, please. So our world is actually undergoing a constant revolution. Okay, so the world revolution is an idea for a new global activist, social movement, so that it can have a progressive social change. Okay, and then it aims to resolve in a definitive and comprehensive manner and the major social problem of our world and also our era. Okay, so anything can be changed from one time to another. Major issues area of the world revolution include world peace, human rights, the environment, as well as the world poverty. Okay, so if you look at the title and if your mind is start thinking, so how does it begin? Okay, so the world revolution begin in the European countries. Okay, it starts with the English Revolution, and then it goes on with American Revolution, there is French Revolution, Russian Revolution, Chinese Revolution. Okay, so it starts with in different countries, and then because sesuatu community would like to change for the better, and then they would like to have some peace, human rights, the environment, as well as to actually membasmi kemiskinan. Semasa kita mahu memastikan kesemua orang tidak hidup di dalam world poverty. Okay, so kita sudah melalui world revolution since apa kita katakan world revolution 1.0. Okay, so next slide please. Jadi untuk setiap keadaan manusia yang hidup memerlukan perubahan. Okay, so it is actually a revolution is a change of an impact to humankind's lifestyle and also production pattern. So it is actually an organized movement aimed at affecting changes. Economic changes, technological changes, political changes, and also social changes. So like what we are facing here in Malaysia, our political changes is actually happening every duration of time. Okay, and we can see our economic changes is also happening, and social changes is also happening. But the most prominent at the moment is actually the political changes, because every 5 years there would be some political changes and the way of the policy of our government is actually adapting to. Okay, and so for example, in technological changes, the use of information technology is actually booming at the moment. Okay, so that will enable us to break our reliance on only conventional means of transportation and also communication, as well as expanding our scope of communication, context, and also development. So saya masih ingat semasa saya kecil, di mana saya hidup di desa yang terpencil, bukannya di Kuala Lumpur, yang mana apabila saya mahu berkomunikasi dengan rakan dan teman saya harus menulis surat dan menghantarnya kepada posto. Okay, dan apabila menulis surat, menulis postcard, hantar kepada posto dan perlukan stamp dan hantar kepada posto dan kita tunggu. Sebab nantinya mungkin 3 hari, 4 hari, 5 hari posto sampai kepada teman di bandar, Dan selepas itu, teman pula akan menulis surat kembali kepada kita dan hantar kepada posto. Jadi kita akan tunggu postman hari-hari untuk berkomunikasi. Itu seingat saya pada tahun 1980-an. Dan selepas itu sudah ada telefon kerana kita sudah ada cara berkomunikasi melalui telefon. Tapi telefon bukan di rumah lagi, telefon masih di tepi-tepi jalan itu. Itu dipunyai oleh syarikat telekomunikasi yang mana kita meletakkan shillingnya, okey, untuk melakukan panggilan telefon. Selepas itu kita ada mobile telefon, tapi saiznya agak besar. Bukan seperti Apple telefon sekarang yang saiznya kecil, tapi telefon yang dahulunya saiznya agak besar. Jadi apa yang saya mahu katakan adalah dulunya cara berkomunikasinya membuatkan ianya terlalu lambat, yang mana kita terpaksa menunggu message kita untuk disampaikan ke satu-satu tempat. Tapi sekarang kita sudah membawa telefon kita ke mana-mana yang kita mahu. Ya, jadi the use of telephone and the use of information technology yang kita menggunakan komputer. Dahulunya komputernya agak besar, cumanya desktop sahaja. Sekarang ini kita sudah punya komputer yang kita boleh membawa ke mana-mana. Dan mungkin juga kita boleh menggunakan iPad yang kita boleh memegangnya ke mana-mana, masukkan di dalam handbag. Ya, jadi the revolution of technology, the revolution of communication, the revolution of economy. Okay, so the changes is actually occurring every second, which we may not think about. Okay, so when I was small, I never appreciate about telephone. I can see telephone along the roadside, and I never appreciate it. I said, oh, it's telephone. And then suddenly I realized there is mobile phone. After that, there is Nokia, there is Huawei, there is Apple. Now I have started appreciating the changes in the technology. Okay, so my era or my time has started about half a century ago, and I have seen the changes in the lifestyle and the development of technology. Okay, so the subsequent slide, please. So I hope I am able to tell you about what is this revolution is all about. Okay, so now today 2022, we are in the situation what is called Industrial Revolution 4.0. So I hope, if not all of you realize about this, some of you might have realized that it has already started. We are now in the middle of it, of Revolution 4.0, and perhaps in certain country, Industrial Revolution 5.0 has already started. We never know. Okay? Okay, let us see about Industrial Revolution. Okay? So can we move to the subsequent slide? So you can see from there, it has started from 1.0, 2.0, 3.0, and now we are at 4.0. So what are all this Industrial Revolution is all about? Okay, So 1.0, it begins in the 18th century, and that starts with the mechanization and introduction of steam and water power. Okay, so the technology menggunakan teknologi steam. And it starts in England and also in the European country and also in the United States. Okay, and so capitalism was a central component necessary for the rise of industrialization. So what it means that kekayaan sesebuah negara itu adalah sangat penting untuk menaikkan sesuatu industri. Okay, so after that it brings on to industry 2.0, 3.0 and 4.0. So if you look at the progression of the revolution, this is what we can see, that the movement of mechanization or automation, or the use of computers as well as robotics. Okay, so you can see that the revolution or the changes of the industry is actually developing. Okay, from the early 17th century to the 19th century and up till now. Okay, so Industrial Revolution 4.0 is the smart factory autonomous system, Internet of Things, and also machine learning, okay, which start in 2011. Okay, and at that time is when we have started going global. Okay, so to be very honest with you, I only realized this when it is Industry 4.0. Okay, because well, I have got to be sincere and frank. I have this is something yang sesuatu yang kita tidak menghargai. Okay, yang mana saya merasakan mungkin saya akan kecundang sekiranya saya tidak menghargai progression of the industry. Okay, okay, let us see why I am saying this. Okay, can we move to the subsequent slide? Okay, the effects and impact of Industrial Revolution 4.0. Okay, so I have started this talk by comparing the time of technology today and the time of my time when I was small. Okay, the reason I'm comparing this is because when I start raising a family, I got my own children, and I start thinking that, well, I come from a small village. Okay, saya datang dari desa yang sungguh terpencil. Tidak ada komputer, tidak tahu menggunakan teknologi, menggunakan telefon di tepi jalan, menggunakan public telephone, yeah. And when I see my children today, they are asking many gadgets from me. And when they ask for gadgets and mobile telephone, they start spending their time looking at internet, playing games, okay, and they are out of focus. They are in their own world. They didn't go to socialize with their friends. They didn't go and play outside, which made me feel technology is bad. Excuse me. Okay, but when I start thinking about it, when I start reading about it more, okay, actually the technology is now at 4.0 already. My time it was at 3.0 without I realize it. Okay, and after that, when I raise my children, if I don't give them the gadget, and if I raise them the way I was being raised, they might be losing something. They might not know the outside world. They might not get extra knowledge. They might be in their own world. Yeah? Because the effect and impact of Industrial Revolution 4.0, when there is a good gadget, a good mobile phone, a good Internet of Things, the impact is that we can have a better working conditions. For example, in the health sector, okay, in many industrial and engineering sector. Can we go to the previous slide? Yeah, okay. So with the use of technology, with the use of machine, we can have improved production and services, improve infrastructure and road safety, okay? Potential increases in resource efficiency and manufacturing. And we can also have robots harvesting vast amount of data, okay? And at the same time, the long duration of production or the long duration of communicating, you can shorten it, okay? There will be increase in human productivity as well. So like I said just now, when I want to communicate with my friend in the city, I need to send a letter through the post office. Now I can only call on my mobile phone. I can WhatsApp my friend. I can WhatsApp Dr. Alif. I can WhatsApp Professor Yuyun. Yeah. And I can email them anything. And even now, I am in Kuala Lumpur. You are in Malang. We can still communicate it. So this is the effect and impact of Industrial Revolution. Okay. So in teaching and learning, Industrial Revolution is doing its greatness. Okay. So by us learning what this technology is all about, by us adapting the skills, so we can actually have the skill and also develop the styles and strategies. Okay, so educators must see the innovation in teaching and learning. And because when we have the technology, all this innovation via this technology, it can save time and also increase the student interest in learning. So the effect and impact of this technology is actually doing wonder. Okay. Can we move to the next slide? Okay. So, even though there is many advantages to it, there are also some challenges to the increment in the advancement in the technology. Okay, because we need to actually be prepared to whatever the technology is offering to us. So to adopt in this innovation and the technology, we must have all the system that is required for it. Okay, the physical and digital system, and definitely it will increase in cost, and there would be some cyber attack to it, okay? And we must be prepared to all these challenges of the industrial revolution, okay? So as the technology advance, the idea is also advancing, okay? So is there a need for another revolution? Okay, so when we talk about a revolution and when we talk about changes, and it has to be for the whole and for the global situation, okay? Because what we are looking at is actually a networking of environment. So the major aspect of a revolution is an attempt to unify various organizations as well as an individual throughout the world that are working for global justice or global technology perfection. Okay, so aims to address the full range of global issue as well as to answer any problem. So we need to think whether we need the revolution of 5.0 or not. Okay. Next, please. Okay. As much as we are happy with the advancement of the technology and we would like to move forward and focus in whatever that we want, there is still some conflict as well as global problem that is actually happening today. Okay, and there are some global poverty, war, and also conflict, and whether we realize it or not, there are about 1 billion people live in extreme poverty in the world. Okay, and 17 million people die every year, okay, from easily preventable causes, and 11 million children dying from and preventable disease, and 800 million people are hungry, and 1 billion people don't okay, and the world reaches 1% of people earn as much as combined annual income as the bottom 57% of those who are facing poverty in the world. Okay, so there is still some problem there. Okay, and the world is also exposed to conflict where about 5 million people died in the war in the past decade. Okay, 25 million people died in the war since. Okay, and the world spends over 800 billion annually just on military. Okay, so these are among the challenges. There are also some other challenges for us, for the world to move forward. Can you move to the subsequent slide, please? Okay, people are talking about human rights, and whether we like it or not, women account for 70% of the world's poor population. And 50% of the world's people do not live in democracy. And then you can see on the slide here, there are about 11% of Asian women live below the poverty line. Okay, so there are still something that we can do to actually prevent women from living below the poverty line. Okay, And there are also problems with the world environment in which half of the world original forests have been destroyed. Okay, this is our environment. And then about 20% of mammals species are threatened with extinction, and 1 billion people are threatened with environmental problem. Okay. Okay, so despite we are talking about the progression of the industry, our world is also facing various other challenges. Okay, now next slide, please. Okay, so how does this industrial revolution can actually benefit us? And how do we overcome the challenges that we are facing today? Okay, so we got to think about it ourselves, because it comes back to you as the human resource, or kita kata kita adalah aset kepada sesuatu industri atau aset kepada sesuatu institusi dan juga negara kita. Okay, next slide please. Okay, so that will come back to you. Meaning, what is the role of a student in all the scenarios that I have been talking about? Okay, so what is your role in Industrial Revolution 4.0? So, with the beginning of fourth industrial revolution, then education needs to revolve as well. Okay, a new form of a higher learning institution is now emerging. Okay, in terms of teaching, in terms of learning, in terms of doing research, in terms of doing service. Okay, so next, please. So, I'm so glad that I'm able to see the new students today, because that shows that we are aware that education is in dire need. We are aware that more people are needed with technical as well as manageable skill. Okay, kita adalah penerus generasi yang akan datang. Kita adalah tonggak kepada sesebuah negara, and kita adalah pemacu ekonomi, dan kita adalah generasi yang akan memastikan negara kita akan bertambah maju ke hadapan. Okay, so people also believe that economic development depended on having this knowledge. Okay, so education is the most important. Okay, next slide please. Okay, so what I have mentioned earlier, the revolution in the industry is actually to tell us about the changes in the technology. So now the technology has actually emerging into physical, digital, and biological worlds. Okay, it is actually the fusion of advances in artificial intelligence, robotics, Internet of Things, there are 3D printings, genetic engineering, quantum computing, and also other technologies. Okay, well, I've got to be frank, whatever that is mentioned on there, I'm not the expert of everything that is on there. Okay, but I believe that whatever that we have today, a little of everything of the knowledge that we have, inshallah, we should be able to advance ourselves and also advance the society and community and contribute to the knowledge and contribute to the society and the country as well. So next slide, please. Okay, so now we move on to what is the fourth industrial revolution. Okay, so nowadays the technology is talking about industries all around the globe. They are talking about artificial intelligence, internets of things, self-driving vehicles, nanotechnology, renewable energy, quantum computing, and biotechnology. So the explosion of this field and also the explosion of this technology will actually make new markets emerge and new skills for the employment of human resource. Okay, and some of the skills or some of the job will be taken over by smart robots, and some of the jobs that you see today may not see it again in 10 years time along the line, because robots will be taking over the job. Okay, unless that robots cannot take place the job that is being done by human. Okay, contohnya macam we have seen that robots actually delivering food. Okay, in the restaurant nowadays they will cut down the number of waiter. Tak ada lagi waiter, and when you make order for food, you can always make order online. Okay, and then the order will be delivered to the chef, and the chef will actually prepare the food, and the food will be put on a robots, and robots will actually deliver the food on your table. Okay, so that is an example of some job will be taken over by robots. Okay, now next slide, please. Okay, what are the top 5 industry sector in 2020? Okay, so number 1 is technology and computational thinking. Number 2 is caregiving. Number 3 is social intelligence and new media literacy. Number 4 is lifelong learning. Number 5 is adaptability and business acumen. Okay, so I got this slide from I forgot where I got it from. I actually have some notes on there to say that where I got it from, but in here I think I'm losing some of the writing. Okay, and 10 most demanding job in 2020: data analyst, medical technician, physical therapist, workplace ergonomic expert, okay, sales and marketing specialist. Number 4, customer service representative. Number 5, management analyst. Number 6, software developers and computer programmers. VET, product designers and creatives, okay, teachers and trainers. Number 10, accountants and auditors. Okay, so the 10 most demanding job in the 2020. Okay, the data I think I got it from somewhere. The website from the US company. Okay, so I think what you can see in there, these jobs cannot be done by a robot. It has to be done by a human. Okay, so teachers and trainers, vets and doctors, medical technicians, therapists. So human touch is definitely required in here. Okay. Next slide, please. Okay, 10 common jobs which may not exist in 20 years. Cashiers, newspaper delivery, travel agent, taxi dispatchers, taxi drivers, journalists, telemarketers, and referees. Why is that? It's because of the Internet of Things, the technologies. So cashiers can be replaced by self-checkout machines, newspaper deliveries. Most of us are not reading newspapers anymore. We can go to electronic reading devices. Okay. At the same time, we can cut costs on production of papers, and we can save our environment as well. Okay. So most of us don't like newspapers today. Okay. And then even travel agent. We don't go and see travel agent, but we browse the travel website, because when we browse travel website, we can compare between one agency to the other agency, which one is good, which one is more preferable, which one that we like the most, which one is cheaper, which one will fit with the program that we like. Yeah, and at the same time, there is a two-way communication between the agency and the user on the website. Okay, and even taxi dispatchers, there are a lot of mobile apps now. Grabs, what else? I can't think of it now. Okay, Grabs and I cannot think now. Okay, and then self-driving cars. We haven't got any self-driving cars today in Malaysia, in Kuala Lumpur, but they are self-driving trains, I guess, and there's no trains, there is no driver on the trains. They are all electronically controlled. Okay, and then journalists, artificial intelligence software. Okay, there are lots of robots that is taking over telemarketers as well. Okay, so next please. Okay, now, so when you look at all of these aspects, I hope that you should be able to think about that you, as the new students, the young talents, new generations, you should be able to build competency in areas in which machines will be unlikely to be involved with. Okay, machines will be unlikely to tackle effectively. At the moment, complex problem solving, machine is not able to do. Creativity, innovation, human touch. So those are the things at the moment cannot be solved by the machines. So you, as the young adults, young generation, pelapis kita pada hari ini, you should build competency in that area besides building competency in technology and machines. Okay, so that is likely to be the best recipe for success. Okay. Next slide, please. So, the adaptation to Industry Revolution 4.0, what should the student do? Okay, I would say that the students should do the things that we do last time. I do last time. Okay. But at the same time, the students should be supported by the teachers, by the lecturers, by the institution in order to be able to do the things that they must do. Okay, next please. So, besides the students needs to do all those things, we as the educator, we must support them. We must give them idea. We must tell them to actually embrace themselves. We must fulfill the needs of the students in order to become what they need to become. Okay, next slide please. So, students today must understand that teachers today are facilitators. Okay, so if you can see the slides that I put on here, okay, gambar anak ini membawa beg yang amat berat, but student today, they may not do like this. Okay, they might not need to bring all the books because their learning tasks or their learning sources is actually beyond whatever that we can imagine. Last time, during my university years, I have got tons and tons of papers that I need to read. I have got lots of books that I need to go through. And I need to spend my time in the library searching for resources. And I might need to photocopy and also keep them in lots and lots of files. And this is what I need to face. I have lots of luggage that I need to bring. But today, students will only have everything in their MacBook or iPad, okay? Because they can just Google on the internet or search the information on the internet and get the information that they need, okay? And today, students will also need to know that their teachers or their educators are not going to provide everything to them, but we are going to provide the resources that they need to actually get the information. Okay, because at this time, learning is beyond, your learning is actually beyond our personal expertise. You can actually get information anywhere because the technology is there to help you. Okay, so the teachers will need to permit the use of technology to support students' flexibility in gaining knowledge, skills, and pursuing their passion. Okay, and teachers would transform the future of education using advanced technology and automation. Okay, so these students needs to be exposed to many things in order for them to be able to get used to the technology. Okay, so in the past, myself, I may not be able to actually use computer. I may not be able to use a laptop because at that time, the economy of my parents, they are not able to provide to me. But as the time goes by, parents today should be able or may be able to actually provide to their kids, to their children, of the gadget that is required. Okay. I am not saying that every parent is able to do so, but in our society, there are many ways of us that is able to actually provide to those families who are not able to give the technology to their children. Okay, there are ways of looking at these things. Okay, so students today will need to learn the skill, competence, they need to experience, they got to be trained, they have to learn, they have to have their knowledge so that they will have the ability, okay? And one day they will grow to become somebody that is better than who we are today, okay? Sorry, next slide, please. Okay, so we need to redefine the purpose of education. The purpose of education has evolved based on the need of a family or a society for a period of time. Okay, at this moment, education has served to prepare a person, to people to engage on a job or task to do something. Okay, so as we move further into the future, education will need to support children to develop the skill set and the mindset to do anything in the future rather than a particular something. Okay, so what do I mean in here? Okay, during my time, when I go to school, when my mom said to me, okay, you need to go to school, I go to school. And I need to study. My mom would say, at the end of the semester, my mom would say, okay, examnya number berapa, pelajarannya berapa A, pelajarannya lulusnya berapa, begitu. Jadi, at the end of the day, the way we define education is to actually got a piece of paper, okay, a piece of certificate. But we need to redefine why everyone goes to school, why everyone goes to a higher education, why we need to be exposed to many things in life, okay? So we have to think about it a little further rather than just to get a piece of paper, a piece of certificate. Okay, so meaning the children today, siswa-siswi pada hari ini, yes, you need to get that certificate, you need to get the degree, but you need to get more than that. Meaning, you need to equip yourself with the knowledge, with the skill, with a good mindset, with a good problem solving, and you have to get involved with many things. Okay? So, rather than just come to the university, sit for class, okay, listen to your lecturer and docent, and do your exam, get the results, and after that finish, you do nothing. But you have to do more than that. Meaning you come to school, you get involved with, you go to class, you sit for exam, you get your results. That is the role of a student. But at the same time, you have to get involved with other activities. Meaning you get real in life, meaning create an activity, get involved with the society, okay, learn skills of problem solving, learn skills of communicating, and get involved, okay? So you have to redefine, okay? All of these are education, okay? So let's move to the subsequent slide, please. Improve STEM education, okay? STEM means science, technology, engineering, and maths, okay? So STEM education needs to be improved across the board, regardless of income level, the age or gender, okay? Students are needed to learn the value, the skills, the moral, ethics, humanity, mentality, and get trained in relation to technology, okay? And the students need to be able to think critically, innovatively, and also collaboratively, okay? Next slide, please. Okay, so utilization of human potential, that is you, the student, okay? So Industrial Revolution 4.0 is utilization of machine and robots. But do not forget, human touch is still at its best, okay? And if you look at the 10 most demanding job in this era is including human care, okay? So human touch is still at its best, in which machine is not able to replace human in terms of creativity, imagination, critical thinking, social interaction, and decision making, okay? So machine cannot compete with all of this, which we human are being given the brain and abilities by Allah Subhanahu wa Ta'ala, okay? So we must utilize our human potential in order to compete with machine, okay? So okay, so we are still relevant here, okay? Next slide, please. So you can see in here, whether we live a life or whether we just exist in a life, okay? So I am already, I don't want to say, saya tidak mau cakap yang saya sudah tua, nggak boleh, saya masih muda, okay? But then in actual fact, I am actually at this stage now, okay? I am almost approaching a retirement age, okay? And I am actually an older adult, which in a few years' time, I'll be retiring soon, okay? So you are actually in here, okay, in the green box, okay? So you can see that we, human, actually increases in complexity, okay? During our younger years, in infant years, semasa kita masih kecil, masih infant, bila kita belajar, okay, trust versus mistrust. So you observe small babies, you observe your sister, your brother, okay, when you leave them alone, whether they can stay alone for a long time or not, whether they can trust the surrounding, sama ada mereka percaya kepada sekeliling ataupun mereka enggak percaya. Okay, trust or mistrust. Okay, and then as they go, they increase in their age, toddler age, which is about 4 to 5 years or 6 years. How do they behave? They change in their behavior. They act to have the autonomy, okay, or they have the shame or doubt about themselves, okay, and then they go to school, they start communicating, go to school, they start socializing, okay. In preschooling years, initiative versus guilt, okay. And then it then increased to industry versus inferiority. And then they go into teenage years. They start to develop their identity. Okay? Identity versus role confusion. And then after that, they go into young adults, intimacy versus isolation. And then after that, in middle-aged adult, generality or stagnation, okay, whether they will increase in general or they just stay stagnant. And then finally, integrity and despair. Okay, so as human grows old, there have been changes in their way of bringing up their self. Okay, so increase in complexity. So you got to ask yourself whether you want to live a life, a good life, or you just want to exist in other people's life. Okay? Okay, next please. So, in a book by Alvin Toffler, he is a futurist. The illiterate of the 21st century will not be those who cannot read or write, but those who cannot learn, unlearn, and relearn. Okay, so what does it mean? It means that even though I am already at the age of retiring, I need to learn every day. I need to unlearn and also I need to relearn. So it is actually a lifelong learning every single day. For me, for you, and for everyone today. Because if not, we are going to be illiterate of the 21st century. Okay? So in order for us to live a life, we need to learn, unlearn, and relearn. Okay? Next, please. So, what is so important about learn, relearn? Sorry, learn, unlearn, and relearn. Okay? So, why it is important is because this is actually a cycle which will engage into more critical thinking skill, encouraging yourself to continually analyze, evaluate, and challenge the knowledge to ensure it is relevant and up to date. Okay? Because this mindset, it is a foundation which combines cognitive function, your emotion, and also social interaction. Okay? So you will combine the three components of your life and you will combine into a better mindset. Okay? That make it grow. If one of it is being left out, okay, then your mindset may not grow. Okay? For example, if you leave out the emotion, is only cognition and cognition only, you leave out the emotion and social, then you will not become somebody of having a good critical thinking. Okay, so I give you an example. You have, you are the boss in your institution, okay? And you got many workers with you who is working in the industry and working very hard to make a production. And then suddenly someone comes to you and then say, oh, I am very sorry. I need to take a week off because my mom is sick. And then you, without emotion, you would say, no, I cannot give you the week off because if you are away, our production is out of question. Okay, so the worker will not be happy. Okay, because you as the boss, you are not granting the leave that she is asking for. Okay, and then even though you are not granting the leave and she comes to work, her mind will be thinking of the mom who is sick. Okay, or the child who is sick at home. Okay, so you are not putting your emotion in order to make the decision in the company. Okay, so meaning the interaction of all cognition, emotion, and social needs to come together in order to ensure that the company is working well. Okay, so if you let the person go and next week she will come back with a good motivation. Okay, so you have to engage all of these three components in order for your mind to have a critical thinking skills. Okay, next please. Okay. So the lifelong learning and the interaction of your thinking skills, interaction with people, okay, that will attributes to lifelong learning, okay, attributes to creativity, curiosity, design thinking, that will be essential for the future of the workforce, okay. People will no longer start a career path and only grow with one role. So nurturing competent lifelong learners becomes essential in here. Okay? So you got to have a cognitive function, you got to have emotion as well, and you got to have social as well. Okay? Okay, next slide please. So, be a modern educator. Myself, teachers have to become a modern educator. We alter educator training rather than teachers distilling information to students, then they can then memorize. Teachers will then become only a facilitator and will only guide the student to facilitate their own learning and lines of inquiry. Okay, so in a way, you as a student, you shouldn't be expecting your lecturers to give all the informations to you. Okay, the lecturers will only guide you, will only teach you the essential information, but you need to actually gain more to answer your curiosity, your innovative thinking, and they will show you the way on how to get those information. Okay, so this teacher will facilitate on how the students will learn and where the students will inquire and get the information. Remember, nowadays technologies are having no boundaries. You can get all the informations that you need, okay? So failure needs to be embraced as an essential step of learning. So do not afraid to fail, okay? And additionally, teaching will be much more personalized, okay? Okay, next slide, please. And school as maker spaces. So now university is actually the place for you to actually embrace yourself. Get all the informations that you want. Get to know as many people as you want. Form networking with fellow students, with fellow educators. Nationally, internationally, okay? So school should be the place that is like a second home to you, okay? So school as a maker space to equip students with the love of learning, and which will allow students to make sense of their world through hands-on experience. Emphasize collaboration, emphasize creativity, allow curiosity, allow problem-solving skills, okay? Inclusiveness, okay? So the learning, the university should be a place that you learn, a place that you make a place that you make something wrong. There's nothing wrong if you are wrong because you are only student today, okay? Next slide, please. And students of the future must have a global mindset, okay? Must take into account possible international demands and languages of the emerging markets, okay? And essential that the seeds of this type of learning are set in schools by offering students chances to learn topics beyond their core curriculum. Develop a love for learning and long life education. Okay, so you must be able to venture into something that is outside the scope in the classroom. Okay, next please. Next please. Okay, students today must have a complex problem solving. You should be critical thinking. Next, please. You should be emotionally intelligent. You should be creative. You should be able to manage human resource. You should be able to coordinate with others. Okay? You should be able to judge and making decision. Should be service orientated. Should be able to negotiate. Okay, and you should be able to have a flexibility in cognitive function. Okay, when you have all these skills plus the skill in technology as well as Internet of Things, you should be able to merge together with the robots. Next, please. Okay, so if you look at the Bloom's taxonomy, when you are in the programs, okay, first of all, you will start to remember in the class, in the lecture hall, lecturer give information, you will start to remember, you will start to memorize, you start to understand and making sense of information. Okay? And then interpret the information, discuss the information. After that, applying the information. Okay? So as the cognitive abilities is actually enhanced, with the information that you get in class, you can apply. After that, you can design, construct something, produce a project, or invent something. Then the ability of cognitive function is actually to create. Okay? And then you can start evaluate and analyze. Okay? So this is the highest taxonomy of cognitive ability that you should be able to have. Okay, so that is what we are hoping from our students today. Okay, next please. Okay, so for you, besides you remembering the facts in class, you should have analytical skills. Doctors and pharmacists must provide safe medication efficiently. You should be able to communicate with your patients, evaluate the patient's needs, evaluate prescribers' orders. You have the knowledge and appropriate circumstances on medication. Okay? Offer advice to patient, explain to the patient about the medication, what the medication can do to the patient, what are the potential side effects of the medication. Okay? So that is the communication skills that is needed. Okay? Offer clear direction to pharmacy technicians and also the interns. Okay? And ensure the accuracy of prescriptions that they feel, able to decide on appropriate medication for a patient, able to analyze patient's medical history. Okay? So the details of the medical history of the patients and together with the presenting illness to the patients. So you must be orientated in detail. Okay? And then they should also have computer skills in order to use electronic health records, organize their data. Okay? Next, please. And they should have some managerial skills, okay, human resource management. Okay, for example, for the pharmacies, particularly those who run a retail pharmacies, for a doctor who is to manage their team, okay, ability to manage inventory and oversee staff, okay. So those are the skills that is required from our students, from you. Okay. Next, please. So whatever that you can do or dream that you can, do it now. Okay. Boldness are genius, power and magic in it. Okay. You just have to do it now. Just try and do it now. Okay. In these days of wonders, no one will say that a thing or an idea is worthless because it is new. To say that it is impossible because it is difficult is again not in consonance with the spirit of the age. Things that are undreamt are daily being seen and impossible are ever becoming possible. Okay, those are the words from Mahatma Gandhi. Okay. So, meaning you just have to do it. Nothing is impossible today. Okay, next please. Next please. So, has the Industrial Revolution 5.0 started? Okay, I don't know. Okay, but I think probably in some country it has already started, in which human is actually working together with the machines and robots. Okay. Okay, next please. Okay, I think that is the end of my presentation. I need about 3 minutes to show a corporate video of UPM. Can we have the link?
Wait, Prof, wait.
Okay. Terima kasih.
Okay, thank you very much, Prof. And we will continue with question session.
Okay.
Okay. Okay, the first question from Zidan from Zidan. Excuse me, Prof. I would like to ask you a question. The question is how the world of health and also us as a medical student take a role in the advancement of the Industrial Revolution to improve a better life and give a significant impact to each other.
Okay, thank you, Zidan, for a very good questions. Okay, as a student today, I would say that how you would want to contribute is for you to actually gain as much knowledge as possible, and how you will contribute to industrial revolution. Okay, I have actually saya sudah memberikan contoh-contohnya tadi. Jadi kebanyakannya adalah industrial revolution is more into robotic and things like that. So you as a medical student, when you gain as much knowledge as possible, becoming a professional, becoming a doctor, becoming a specialist one day, and equip yourself with the knowledge that is required, and then equip the skills that is needed from you, and equip yourself with a human touch that is required from you. Okay, so meaning that if you can imagine, if only kita cuma fokus kepada mesin dan pekerjaan kita tidak ada human touch, then at the same time we are only good with hands, we are not good as social interaction. Okay, jadi maknanya besides having a good cognitive ability, besides having a good skills with the hands, besides having a good knowledge, we must also have a good interaction. Okay, so in a way, by doing that, we are actually good to ourselves, we are actually good to the society, we are actually good to everyone and human. Okay, so by doing that, we are actually, without we realize it, we are actually contributing for a better life. Okay, so imagine you as a medical professionals who are only good with your skills, but you are not good with human interaction. So that is not, we can say, a good doctor, right? So we need to be good in every manner. Okay, so I hope that I am giving you the answer that you need. Is that okay, Zidan?
Zidan. Maybe Zidan is muted by host, Prof.
Oh, okay, all right, okay.
Mas Ovik, bisa dibuka mungkin mute-nya Mas Ovik? Okay, I think it's clear, Prof. It's clear enough.
Okay.
Can we continue to another question, maybe, Prof?
Yes.
Okay. Okay, this is the second question from our student. I would like to be asking about two choices, Prof, between being a critical thinker and having a language skill. Which one should we master more as a medical workers to survive with this industrial revolution?
Okay, that is another good question, I think. Okay, so between a critical thinker and having a language skill. Okay, I would say that it depends on what is needed from you. Okay, if you are among the society or you are in a national situation, meaning you are not going abroad. Probably like myself, I am in Malaysia. I speak only Malaysian language. Okay, but if I need to go abroad, then the language skill would be an advantage to me. Okay, tapi maknanya I would say that I cannot pick which one is much better to master than which one is not, which one is second best. I cannot say that. It depends on your situation. But being a critical thinker is very important. But having a language skill is a bonus to you. Okay, so meaning if you want to go abroad, you need to have one international language that is being understood by everybody. So meaning if you want to go abroad, you don't have that international language, then it is very difficult for you to communicate. Okay, and being a critical thinker, you need it everywhere. Okay, so in a way, for you to be globally accepted, you need to have both. Okay, and then even if you are staying in a local setting, but sometimes you may also need to communicate with international person. Okay, somebody who is foreign to your language. Okay, so meaning it depends on the situation. But being a critical thinker, you need to be critical thinker, meaning you are very innovative. You can solve many problems. You can be a good. You can make a good judgment. So I would say that you need. I would say that you might need both. Okay. So to choose, it's quite difficult, I think. I think you need both.
I think it's really clear. And we will continue to another question. From Zakia. Excuse me, Prof. Sharida, I would like to ask you a question. How do we not get distracted when learning use handphone or laptop? Well, instead, the handphone or laptop also has entertainment such as social media, games, and etc. Well, thank you, Prof. I think this is a problem for all people, maybe, Prof.
So it's a problem for me as well.
Yes.
Okay, thank you for your question. Miss Intan Zakia Purnama, I would say that it is actually come back to you. Come back to yourself. You have to ask yourself, are you focusing on your work, or are you dividing your attention to do your work, to finish your work, or are you actually dividing it with the games and also social media. Well, social media is good that you are socializing, but if you are actually doing it in between the work that you are doing, so meaning your work is actually being divided, having a divided focusing and attention. And I'm giving example. Say that I'm doing my work at about 8 to 10 o'clock. Okay, so that is about 2 hours. But if in between I play some games, so meaning my work is only 1.5 hours. So I am not focusing on it. So your brain cannot actually focusing on many things. You cannot do multitasking, even though many people love to do multitasking, but our brain is not good at multitasking that well. Okay, so what you can do is switch off social media, switch off the games, or probably you can say to yourself, discipline yourself. Games is only after 5 p.m. every day. It's only 1 hour a day. And after that, you need to do your work, or you need to do other things, go out and play, not playing computer games. Okay? So you need to discipline yourself.
Okay, the answer is we have to discipline ourselves. Yes, Prof.
Yes. It's hard.
This is for all. Prof, maybe this is the last question. Actually, we just allow 3 questions, but I think this question is very important. Excuse me, Prof. Sharida, I would like to ask, in your honest opinion, is there a possibility of machine replacing us as a medical professional? I ever heard there are research finding by Chinese scientists and also Japan scientists who make an artificially intelligence doctor who have accuracy and speed and speedity in diagnosing in disease more than human. They're more clever than human. And I think it's important. What is our position as a general physician, maybe in 4.0 era, Prof?
Wow, that is a very difficult question, actually. I'm not sure how to answer that. Okay. In my honest opinion, as for now, if okay, I got to live another 20 or 30 years, at that age, I will be like an old lady at that time and will be having many diseases and sickness probably. And if I am being checked by a robot or a machine, I'll be very scared. I'll be very honest with you, because I come from the era in which I have a human who is actually diagnosing my sickness and the disease condition. So my frank opinion, if I have to face that kind of situation like what Dr. Leah mentioned just now, I'll be very scared. But then to answer the question whether there is a possibility a machine replacing medical professionals, well, I haven't come across the reading by the text by that Dr. Leah mentioned just now, but there could be a possibility that there will be a smart robots.
Yes.
Yeah, there could be that possibility, because science is changing, technology is changing. innovation is actually occurring every single second in many parts of the world. So hopefully, I am praying that human will never go extinct. And I will not live to the day that machine will take over the human subjects in doing all the tasks that is being done by human. You know, to me, there are my personal view, there are certain tasks that is still being needed, that is still needed to be done by human, not by the machines. So I'm not so sure how to answer the question, okay? But I know in some of the complicated surgery, robots are actually doing the surgery, which is doing wonder to patients. If it's in that kind of situation, it's fine. But for me to communicate with robots, I still feel that I am still in the old school situation.
Okay, Prof. Thank you for a very good answer and a very inspiring lecture. And we are waiting for Prof. Sharida coming, arrival at Win Malang in November, inshallah, Prof.
Inshallah.
Yes. Okay. And thank you very much. Okay, next event I return to Master Ceremony. Okay, times is your hosting. Thank you, Prof. Thank you, Prof.
Okay, thank you very much to Dr. Lia and Prof. Okay, thus the opening lecture from Professor Datin Dr. Sharida Fakurazi. What a very benefitful lecture, Professor. We would like to say thank you very much for your very good lecture. And also thank you very much to Dr. Lailia, who would become the moderator for this event. May all of us get the value and benefit from the lecture. Amin.
Amin.
Well, before we close this event, I hope all of the audiences here can turn on your camera because we will take some documentations together with Professor Sharida. Baik, diharapkan kepada seluruh jajaran tenaga pendidik FKIK UIN Malang dan juga seluruh mahasiswa, baik dari prodi kedokteran maupun farmasi untuk dapat mengaktifkan kameranya, karena kita akan mengambil foto bersama-sama dengan Profesor Sharida. Baik, permisi, apakah bagian IT sudah siap? Permisi, bagian IT.
Mas Afif.
Dia siap, Bu. Siap.
Ayo, mulai untuk screenshotting ya.
Ya,
Halaman
baik.
pertama. Ayo, lanjut.
Ya, baik.
Pasti.
Untuk slide yang pertama terlebih dahulu. 1, 2, 3. Okay, we are moving on to the second slide. 1, 2, 3. Oke, kita pindah ke slide ketiga. 1, 2, 3. Oke, lanjut ke slide yang keempat. 1, 2, 3. Baik, lanjut ke slide yang kelima. 1, 2, 3. Oke, lanjut ke slide yang keenam. 1, 2, 3. Baik, mungkin sampai ke slide ke-6 saja karena belum semuanya mengaktifkan kamera. Oke, alhamdulillah. Finally, we are on the last session of this event, and this is closing. Okay, before we close this event, let's say hamdalah together. Alhamdulillahirabbil alamin. Okay. Thank you very much for your coming and your nice attention. And wassalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
Waalaikumsalam
Waalaikumsalam warahmatullahi
Thank you, Prof. Sharida.
Waalaikumsalam
Thank you, Prof. Thank you.
Thank you, Prof. Thank you, Prof.
Sharida.
Thank you.
Thank you, Prof.
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 Thank you.
Thank you, Prof.
Hope to see you soon.
Thank you,
Hope to see you next time.
Thank you, Prof. Di November insya Allah, Prof.
Thank you, Prof. Assalamualaikum, Prof. Salam untuk aktivitas Datin.
Thank you very much, Prof.
Terima kasih.
Hello.
Thank you.
Terima kasih, Cikgu.
Terima kasih.
Terima kasih, Cikgu.
Terima kasih, Cikgu.
Terima kasih.
Terima kasih.
Thank you. Sharida. Nara juga mana?
Bye. Asoon.
Salam dari SDD.
We hope you will visit our university soon.
Ayo, Nara. Terima kasih, Cikgu. Sampai libur. Nobar.
Saya live dulu. Assalamualaikum.
Aku sudah siap. Tak ragu
sekali kampus kita.
Akankah kau terima diriku?
Wow, sangat luas.
Mengapa ku rasa
Wah, kampus baru
memang berbeda, bukan seperti kampus lainnya. Bila ada kesempatan untukku, jangan kau pupuskan harapanku. Ku ingin gapai mimpiku. Ajari aku apapun kau mau, asal itu tentang bagaimana ku mampu raih cita-citaku. Selalu ku damba jadi mahasiswa di FKIK kampus tercinta. Bila ada kesempatan untukku, jangan kau pupuskan harapanku. Ku ingin gapai mimpiku. Ajari aku apapun kau mau, Asal itu tentang bagaimana ku harus raih cita-citaku. Ku ingin jadi apoteker atau dokter ulul albab. Ku ingin masa depan bahagia. Bila ada kesempatan untukku, jangan kau pupuskan harapanku. Ku ingin gapai mimpiku. Ajari aku apapun kau mau, asal itu tentang bagaimana ku bisa raih cita-citaku. Akan ku gapai mimpi-mimpiku.